Hello YouTube.
Hi, today I'm going to show you how to implement this model in your Unity game. To do so, we'll use the HuggingFace API for Unity, which is a really useful tool to integrate Hugging Face directly into your game. Currently, the tasks implemented are text to text, text to image, and text to a float between 0 and 1. But there is still no implementation for text to audio, and therefore we cannot implement a text to speech model, and we cannot have an AI say
Hello YouTube.
inside your game. Therefore, I've forked this repository in here, and I will show you how the changes are made. So in implementation tasks, I've created a file which I've named text to audio task, which is basically a task base, so it depends on this interface. It takes it's an abstract class. It takes a string as input, it's our prompt, and it returns a byte of array, which are the frames of our audio. It's the raw audio. It's called text audio, and it uses this model as a endpoint, which is the model I've shown before. You can get the endpoint by going to deploy inference API and copy and pasting this line. The payload is simply a string, so we can simply send it as a JSON object. I haven't defined any backup endpoints, but you should do it in a real game. And then we don't need post-processing since we directly want to convert a raw object as an array of bytes. That's what this method does. So let's take it and put it into our Unity project. I will take this link, go to Unity, Window, Package Manager, plus Git URL, copy and paste. Okay, let's explore the scene. I've already created a canvas with a generate button, a play button, and an error text so that we can display the error when it occurs. Then I've created a Hugging Face game object with an empty script, which I've called Hugging Face Audio, and an audio source. Let's dig into the Hugging Face Audio. The first thing we'll need is a prompt. So let's create a public string prompt. And then we'll want to visualize the raw output of the Hugging Face API. So let's create an array of bytes, which I will call raw audio. Then let's create a private method, which I will call get audio from Hugging Face, and I will use the basic syntax from the Hugging Face API. So let's include the Hugging Face.api, and let's call it Hugging Face API text to audio. It will not be available if you directly use the API from the original Hugging Face repository, only if you use the fork or if you make a modification to the original repository. So let's see what it needs. It needs an input as a string. It's our prompt. It will need a method, so an action, that will take a byte as an input and will do something. So let's follow the syntax from Unity, Hugging Face Unity. It's like this, and we'll simply, for now, say response goes into raw audio. And then when you want something to do on error, so error debug.log error, that will do it for now. Let's try with a context menu so that we can do it from the editor. Get audio, and let's see what happens. This is a prompt, and we've effectively obtained a raw audio of 58,000 bytes. So it works. The next thing we want to do is to create an audio clip, and to do this, it's a funny part because Hugging Face, the output of the model from Hugging Face are in FLAC, which is a compressed audio format, but it's not compatible with Unity as is. Therefore, we'll need first to convert the bytes into a FLAC file, then into a compatible file like WAV, and then from WAV to an audio clip. To this we need a few packages, a few third parties that I didn't want to include into the original fork. The first one is Nugget from Unity. It's like a catalog of .NET projects that you can install directly in Unity. So let's install it. So git URL like this. And now that we have Nugget, we can open it, manage packages, and we'll need a FLAC. So let's type FLAC. And I found this one to work well. It's under the Microsoft public license, so we can basically use it however we want. And it uses an audio, which is an audio library in .NET that will allow us to write a WAV file. So everything will work immediately. You will see it has automatically installed audio core. Perfect. Next thing we need is to go from a WAV file to an audio clip. And that's why we'll need this package or another one that can do the same thing, but this one works well with just one line of code. I've already have it on my store, so I will go into my assets, open WAV, wait for it to be fetched, and here we go. I can simply import it, and there we go. Let's head back into the HuggingFace audio. I will this time make a reference to my audio source and delete this. Therefore, we won't want this line, but instead directly assign the audio clip and create a method get audio clip from response, which is an array of bytes. General method. Let's call the argument bytes, and let's dive into it. We'll use a few things. We need a system.io to have streams that will read the music or the voice, and we'll need the third party we've just installed, which are naudio.flac and naudio.wave. Then, since we are using streams, they are disposable, therefore we need to use using memory string input stream is equal to new memory stream from the byte. So we've created a stream with this bytes. Then we'll the reader is equal to new flag reader that takes a stream as an input. That's the syntax from an audio. Then we need an output stream. Put stream that is will be initialized empty, and we'll use the wave file writer dot write wave to stream and put the stream as the output and the reader as the input of this method, the source provider. The last thing to do is to return open wave parser dot byte array to audio clip, and since we are using a memory stream, we can simply write to array, and that's it. When I head back into the editor, go into Hugging Face, press get audio, we see that we have an audio, but we cannot play it yet. Let's work on our scene. To do so, we need a reference to our button. So let's add Unity engine.ui play button. It's public is not the best, but let's make it public for now. Generate button and text match pro dot text mesh pro g error text. I will create a public method, and I will need an coroutine. Let's create an enumerator. Let's create setup. The first thing it does will disable the play button so that we cannot play when we are setting up our files. And in fact, let's prevent it from generating also when we are setting up everything. Then we'll call get audio from HuggingFace, and that's it. No, it's not, because this is also a coroutine, and that's why I put it into here, because we'll need to wait for this to finish before doing anything else. So I will create two bools. The first one is succeed, and I will initialize to false, and the second one is querying. I cannot pronounce it well. I will also initialize it to false. In this call, I will initialize again querying to true and succeed to false. Then, if we've gotten a response with succeeded, and we are no longer querying, and if we have an error, we are simply no longer querying, but we didn't succeed. And therefore, since we are in a coroutine, we can do while querying, wait the next frame. New wait for end of frame, and we wait for the next frame. Once we've finished, we'll simply say that the play button is enabled if we've succeeded, and the generate button is simply enabled again because we are no longer querying. Since we want the error text, let's put it here. The text is equal to error. Now, when we are generating, let's call the coroutine setup like this. Let's head back into the editor. Let's assign our buttons: play button, generate button, and error text. Then, in the play button, we'll simply take our audio source and put play into it. In our generate button, we take our HuggingFace audio and put our public generate function method. Let's dive into it. So I will keep this one open so that we can see what happened. I will generate. You can see that the coroutine started. We have a song or a voice. This is a prompt. Let's listen to it.
This is a prompt.
Perfect. Let's generate again. Please check the GitHub repository. Generate. Cannot click. There is an error. It happens. We are on a free service. Obviously, there will be some time where it doesn't work. That's the issue with free API, obviously. Let's try again. This time it did work.
Please check the GitHub repository.
Exactly. So if you learned something, please check the GitHub repository. I will put all the links into the description, and this project will be available on my GitHub, so please check it. Thanks very much,